Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, wondering why it seems that those with the kindest hearts, the gentlest souls, often face the harshest storms? If you have, know this: you are not alone. Across centuries and countless lives, this has remained one of humanity's most enduring questions. And tonight, together, we'll gently unravel its mystery through the timeless lens of Buddhist wisdom. But this isn't just about finding an answer. It's about something far deeper. It's about healing. It's about understanding that every heartache, every betrayal, every obstacle you've met wasn't meant to break you. It was preparing your spirit for something quietly magnificent. Here, in this peaceful moment, welcome to Daily Dharma Wisdom, your sanctuary of stillness where ancient teachings meet modern healing. Whether you've arrived seeking peaceful rest, a gentle balm for life's unspoken burdens, or simply a space to breathe and feel understood, you've found the right place. So many of us walk this world carrying invisible wounds. We choose kindness when it would be easier to retaliate. We help without expectation. We practice patience while others chase instant gratification. And yet, somehow, life seems heavier for us. We witness those who deceive, who manipulate, who harm, climbing swiftly to success, while our honest, heartfelt efforts stumble over roadblocks. We offer love and are met with betrayal. We give generously and still encounter loss. We remain true to our values and find ourselves feeling isolated in a world that so often seems to reward the opposite. But tonight, ancient Buddhist wisdom will softly reveal why this happens, and more importantly, how these very struggles are quietly transforming you into someone capable of receiving blessings you've yet to even imagine. Over the next few hours, we'll journey together through 9 sacred spiritual tests, challenges faced by souls with luminous karma, each designed not to punish but to prepare, to initiate, to shape you into a beacon of light for others wandering in darkness. But before we begin, let's create a space of calm within ourselves. Right now, wherever you are, perhaps resting on your bed, or seated in a favorite chair, let your body settle. Feel the gentle weight of your head against your pillow, the way your shoulders can soften, your breathing ease, like waves quietly returning to the shore. Place one hand over your heart and notice its steady, faithful rhythm. This heart of yours has carried grief, disappointment, perhaps even betrayal, and yet, it continues to beat with love. It continues to choose compassion. It continues to stay tender in a world that so often demands hardness. The Buddha once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Every sorrow you've endured, every heartbreak you've carried, has been slowly carving space within your soul for something greater, a deeper joy, a more unshakable peace, a love far more radiant than you've ever known. These 9 tests we'll explore together aren't obstacles meant to defeat you. They're sacred initiations, invitations from the universe, quietly asking, "Are you ready to become a light for others?" As we step into this journey, you don't need to believe everything I say. You don't need to analyze or overthink. Simply let these words wash over you like warm, gentle rain. Let your mind soften. Let your heart listen, and perhaps, just perhaps, you'll find a little healing here tonight. Before we move deeper, let's gently recall what we touched upon moments ago, that every hardship you've faced was not meant to crush you, but to shape you into something quietly extraordinary. Now, as you rest here in this sacred space, we continue our journey together. Some of you listening tonight will soon drift into a peaceful, healing sleep, and that's exactly as it should be. Others will stay awake, fully present, eyes open, heart listening, and that, too, is perfect. Healing does not demand our attention in any one way. It happens in silence, in stillness, in presence, and in dreams. However you receive these words, trust that they are working within you. In this moment, we are about to uncover why your tender, gentle heart was chosen for this difficult, yet profoundly beautiful path. Together, we'll begin to understand why your struggles aren't random misfortunes, why your endless patience is not in vain, and why those very qualities that seem to complicate your life are, in truth, preparing you for a destiny woven with peace, wisdom, and deeper meaning. Take one more long, steady breath with me. Feel yourself sinking just a little deeper into ease, into quiet trust. Your healing begins now. Many of us know this feeling far too well. You move through life with genuine kindness. You have no wish to harm others. You offer help wherever you can, asking for nothing in return. And yet, somehow, you find yourself the subject of suspicion, whispers, and misplaced blame. You make the honest, moral choice, yet people quietly assume you must be pretending. You extend a hand to someone in need, and rumors spread behind your back about your motives. You choose silence to keep the peace, and others misread your calm as an admission of guilt. This, right here, is the first of the 9 spiritual tests that pure-hearted souls must endure. It is called the mirror of misunderstanding. And if you find yourself facing this reflection now, confused and wounded by how others perceive you, know that you're not alone. In fact, let me share with you an old story, a tale carried down through generations. One that might gently comfort your heart. Long ago, in ancient China, there lived a humble tea merchant named Wei. Though simple in status, Wei possessed something extraordinary. Every morning, before the first light touched the earth, he would climb the misty mountains to gather leaves from wild, untouched tea plants hidden in secret groves. These weren't ordinary leaves. They had been kissed by decades of mountain mist, their purity untouched by greed or careless hands. Wei would carefully prepare these precious leaves and offer his tea freely to anyone who passed by his modest roadside stall. Remarkably, even a single sip of his tea could ease the weight of anxiety, mend a heart cracked by sorrow, or clear the troubled fog from a weary mind. Word of this miraculous tea spread quickly. Soon, travelers from distant provinces journeyed through forests and valleys just to taste it. Yet, no matter how far people came or what burdens they carried, Wei greeted each one with the same gentle smile. He asked nothing about their sorrows. He sought no payment, no favor. He simply offered his tea and a place to rest. But as is often the way in this world, when light shines too brightly, shadows gather. As Wei's reputation grew, so did the envy of other merchants. They could not fathom how a man giving away his most prized possession could thrive while they, with all their clever dealings and guarded secrets, struggled to earn such reverence. Whispers began to ripple through the market stalls. Surely, they insisted, this Wei must be hiding something. Some claimed he was a fraud, mixing ordinary leaves with mind-altering herbs. Others suggested he was secretly wealthy, playing at poverty to win favor with the powerful. Darker suspicions soon followed. Perhaps Wei was a spy from a rival kingdom. Or worse, a practitioner of forbidden magic. Among those consumed by jealousy was a wealthy merchant named Master Chen. Renowned for his fine silks and flawless jade, Chen was a man used to admiration and influence. And he could not bear the thought that a humble tea seller received greater honor than himself. Determined to expose Wei, Master Chen began weaving a web of lies. He claimed that those who drank Wei's tea fell under a mysterious influence. He whispered that Wei was secretly building an army of followers for some dark, hidden agenda. The slander spread like wildfire. Chen convinced other affluent merchants to join his cause. And together, they painted Wei as a dangerous deceiver, a threat to the natural order of commerce and power. Previously, We left Wei standing beneath the growing shadow of envy and suspicion, a man whose simple acts of kindness had drawn the darkness of jealousy from those around him. And now, we step into the heart of his most painful trial. Rumors continued to swirl like restless winds through the village. People began saying that Wei's generosity wasn't natural, that no honest man would offer something as precious as his rare tea so freely, unless there was a hidden agenda. Little by little, fear began to take root where gratitude once bloomed. Villagers who had once been healed by Wei's tea started avoiding his humble stall. Mothers would pull their children close, and elders would look away, afraid to be associated with someone so steeped in controversy. But the most painful wound of all came not from strangers, nor from the merchants who envied him, but from someone Wei had quietly cherished, an elderly widow named Li. For months, this kind old woman had been like a grandmother to him. She would bring him simple home-cooked meals, warm his long afternoons with gentle stories, and keep him company during slow, quiet days when few customers came. Her aching joints had found relief in Wei's healing tea, and in his presence, she had rediscovered the warmth of simple human kindness. Yet, when Master Chen approached her with his venomous lies and cruel suspicions, something tragic happened. Fear crept into the tender spaces of her heart, replacing the gratitude that had long dwelled there. She began to question what once felt so pure. Why would a stranger be so kind? She wondered. Her own son had long abandoned her. Her neighbors barely acknowledged her pain. And yet, here was a man offering her comfort and care every single day, asking nothing in return, it seemed, in her frightened heart, far too good to be true. One somber morning, the air heavy with unspoken tension, Widow Li approached Wei's stall. But this time, not for tea. With trembling hands and tears clouding her eyes, she accused him. Her voice, frail but sharp with fear, demanded answers. She accused Wei of manipulating her, of using her loneliness for some unseen, sinister purpose. She begged him to confess what it was he truly wanted, what scheme he was hiding beneath his gentle smile. Seeing her boldness, other villagers, emboldened by the moment, gathered around the stall, one after another. They hurled accusations and suspicions. Voices rose, and demands for explanations rained down upon Wei like stones. In the chaos, someone's hand struck his carefully prepared tea, sending the precious, sacred brew cascading into the dust. The leaves soaked into the earth, the fragrance of mountain mist lost in the soil. Wei watched in silence as his life's work lay ruined at his feet. The very people he had helped, those whose hearts he had healed, now stared at him as if he were a danger, a fraud, a monster. When the storm of accusations finally subsided, and the crowd demanded his response, Wei did something no one expected. He bowed, a deep, sincere bow to every person there. Then, in a voice soft as morning mist drifting over the mountains, he spoke. "I have received your gift," he said, "of showing me my attachment to being understood. Thank you for this teaching." The crowd fell silent, stunned. They had expected anger, perhaps defensive words, or at least the wounded pain of a man wrongly accused. But what they witnessed was something entirely different, genuine, unshaken gratitude for their betrayal. Without another word, Wei calmly began to clean the spilled tea with the same careful tenderness he had shown in preparing it. He gathered his few modest belongings and prepared to leave the village forever. Before stepping away for the final time, he turned back to the people who had turned against him. He bowed once more, to Widow Li, to the merchants, to the crowd that had gathered. And then he vanished. Years later, Master Chen's fortune would crumble, consumed by his own greed and dishonesty. His empire of silk and jade would fall to ruin. As for Widow Li, Her arthritis returned, worse than ever, without Wei's tea to ease her suffering. Her final days were spent in aching regret, haunted by the question of whether she had driven away the only soul who had ever truly cared for her well-being. Wei was never seen again. Some whispered that he returned to the mountains to tend the wild tea plants in silence. Others believed he journeyed to distant villages, continuing his quiet mission of offering healing to strangers, knowing they might never truly see his heart. This story reveals one of the deepest truths for those who serve with open hearts. Wei did not defend himself because he understood something most never realize, that people's misunderstanding of him was not his spiritual test, but their own. His trial was whether he could continue living with pure intention even when his purity was questioned. Their trial was whether they could recognize authentic love when it appeared before them. Unguarded and sincere. In Buddhist wisdom, this is known as the mirror teaching, a sacred reminder that when people judge and misunderstand us, it often reflects their own spiritual lessons, not our worth. The story of Wei leaves us with a profound reminder that people's judgments and accusations often have little to do with us, and everything to do with themselves. And now, we gently step into the deeper lesson behind this first spiritual test. When people misunderstand your kindness, they are not truly seeing you. More often than not, they are projecting their own fears, insecurities, and limitations onto you. A person who has never known unconditional love will naturally suspect that every kindness must come with hidden conditions. Someone whose own generosity always carries invisible strings will struggle to imagine that yours might be offered without any. In truth, their accusations are not reflections of your heart, but mirrors of their own. They reveal the landscape of their inner world, not yours. The Buddha taught that one of the most delicate and subtle forms of ego is our attachment to being perceived correctly by others. We tell ourselves that we seek recognition for noble reasons, to uplift others, to inspire goodness in the world. But often, beneath those reasons lies a quiet attachment to the warm glow of being appreciated, of being seen and validated. When Wei bowed and thanked his accusers, he wasn't just showing grace. He was embodying true freedom. Freedom from needing the approval of others to affirm his inner worth. Freedom from the craving to be understood. Now, pause for a moment and reflect on your own life. Think about your own experiences with this deeply painful test. Have you ever been the helpful co-worker whose sincere efforts were twisted into manipulation? Have you ever been the family member whose quiet sacrifices were either ignored or misinterpreted? Perhaps you've been the loyal friend whose unwavering support was met with suspicion, simply because genuine loyalty has become so rare. In our modern world, where cynicism often overshadows sincerity, authentic kindness can seem almost suspicious. And with the rise of social media, this spiritual test has become even sharper. We share moments of kindness, and someone accuses us of virtue signaling. We open up about our struggles, and others suggest we're just seeking attention. We choose to keep our private acts of goodness unseen, and people assume we're hiding something, or being disingenuous. It feels like no matter what we do, misunderstanding finds a way in. And here's the hard truth, it's meant to. The game itself is designed in such a way that you cannot win by trying to control how others see you. Because the deeper lesson is not about being understood, it's about learning to let go of the need to be understood. So let's practice a small moment of healing together. If you feel safe, gently close your eyes now. Imagine yourself standing in that village square, as Wei did, surrounded by those who doubt you, who misunderstand your heart. Feel the sting of their words, the ache of seeing your intentions questioned, your kindness rejected by the very people you long to help. Notice where this pain settles in your body. Perhaps you feel a tightness in your chest, a burning heat in your face, or a heavy knot in your stomach. Become aware of it, without judging it. Now, take a slow, steady breath in, and as you exhale, imagine releasing the burden of needing to explain yourself. Breathe out the heaviness of seeking approval. Inhale a sense of calm knowing, the quiet confidence that your heart knows its truth. Now picture Wei's remarkable response. Imagine yourself bowing gently to those who misunderstood you. Feel what it would be like to thank them, not because their accusations are true, but because their misunderstanding has illuminated the places within you where you still crave appreciation, where your peace still depends on external validation. This isn't about accepting their lies. It's about recognizing that their confusion has gifted you an opportunity to notice your own attachments. The Buddha once said, "Hatred is never appeased by hatred in this world. By non-hatred alone is hatred appeased." This is a law eternal. When you meet misunderstanding with defensiveness, you only deepen the cycle of confusion. But when you respond with gratitude for the lesson it reveals within you, you transform the entire situation. You become like Wei, a person so grounded, so secure in their own purity of heart, that even betrayal can be appreciated as a spiritual teaching. Notice, in this moment, how your shoulders might have softened, how the tension in your face eases, how your breath has become a little slower, a little deeper. You are learning, right here and now, the sacred art of letting go of the need to control how others perceive you. And so, dear friends, we gently close this chapter of our journey tonight. You've walked with me through the story of Wei, through the pain of being misunderstood, and the quiet wisdom of releasing the need for recognition. I hope these teachings and reflections have brought a little calm, a little clarity, and a sense of warmth to your heart. If this message has touched something within you, I kindly invite you to subscribe to Daily Dharma Wisdom. Join this peaceful, growing community where ancient teachings meet everyday healing, and where your heart will always have a place to rest. And this is just the beginning. In video 2, we'll uncover the next spiritual test faced by those with tender hearts, a challenge even more subtle, and perhaps even more transformative. I truly hope to see you there. Until then, take care of your beautiful heart. Breathe deeply, and know that you are never alone on this path. Thank you for watching, and may peace be with you.